Yo, what is going on, beautiful people? We are back with another episode of Respect the Game podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. If this is your first time listening, we promise you that whatever we talk about on this episode, it would either make you love the game, hate the game, but most certainly respect the game. My name is Edward, named after my father, a great man, great decision by my mother. Shout out to my grandmother too for helping raise me. Start what you're doing. Please go follow at EMACStats, EMCSTATS for all your up-to-date sports coverage from the high school level all the way up to the pros. And enough about me. Let's kick it to my brother so they can introduce themselves.
Man, Shineheart is a charismatic, hood, intellectual excellence at its finest, man. SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, Cash App, whatever, man. Shineheart is old. Man, respect the game.
Yo, it's the one and only Black Peace, the host of Talkin Smoke, the host with the most that blows the most smoke, the rap plug, the hip hop plug, of course. Check me out on Spotify, also on Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you get dope ass podcasts from, man. You know.
Good evening, beautiful people. My name is Sedacious Xavier Miles, the one and only. And on behalf of me and the brothers, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, the nigga that forgot his black shirt tonight, but I got my hat, so we good. Take it away, bro.
Not playing, by the way.
Not playing. We was, I guess,
the spirit letters.
Yeah, the spirit letters. We was unplannedly in sync tonight.
Well, this shit happened literally
the spirit
5 seconds before we came on, bro. So.
Man. So to kick it off, man, I'll let you kick it off, Sedacious, since you're real quick. This has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with nothing. You talk about like not having a purple shirt. I mean the black shirt. I remember one time, bro. We was like we was supposed to be praise dancing at church, and some kind of way, like either I forgot or like I just wasn't like privy to the fact that like, oh, we dancing this Sunday, and you know, sometimes like we had our outfits or whatever was like the vest with the little green shirt, or it's like, hey, everybody wear
so bad.
Hey, everybody wear your collar shirt or orange or pastel color collar shirt, your jeans, whatever, blase, the jumpsuit. And I don't know what happened. I don't know how I wasn't in the loop, but I just remember like getting out the car, getting to church and like looking at all y'all. And I think y'all was in like jumpsuits or something. But long story short, like I had on like this big bright ass orange collar shirt that had nowhere near compared to the actual outfit we were supposed to wear. And then to make it worse, it's not like I had a lead, so it's like, oh yeah, he got a different outfit because he got the lead in the song. And at that time, bro, I felt mortified. I was like, I can't dance. What the? Bro, I was like, at that time, I couldn't drive. A nigga really wanted to like steal a car, go back to the house real quick, grab an outfit, just wear it back to the crib.
Grandma, you coming to church?
But I think like, because like, I guess, I don't know, I guess maybe Alan felt sorry for me or so, because like, I wasn't the only one though. It was like a couple of others, like, it was like, bro, like, where's the miscommunication going on? And so, long story short, everybody just got it there, whether they had on like the correct uniform or not. But yeah, that story reminded me of you, Sedacious.
It was that legendary. That at that point, it didn't matter who had what on. Just get up there.
Yeah, true indeed. Shout out to Flip, man. Documentary coming soon, hopefully. So Darnell, what did you see that you respected or didn't respect out there in the world this week?
What I respected, man, was a OG stepping up and speaking his mind, and hopefully it'll save some lives and just kind of put an end to this certain fact that's going on. What I'm talking about is not mistaken, his name is Range Rover Hank. It's the uncle of King Von, you know, deceased rapper who got killed in rap/gang violence, if you look at it. More rap violence than anything else. But basically, he got on his personal live and he let people know, like, this, you know, dropping people's names and disrespecting these people that have passed away, it's like, you got to stop at a certain point. It's like, there needs to be a certain line drawn in the dirt where it's like, bruh, like, you've done what you've done, the things already have been done, and it's at a point where people are just trying to heal and get on with their lives and maybe just accept everything. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that people are constantly putting these niggas' names in fucking hit songs, not even just songs, hit songs. They had little kids singing like I'm smoking on Tuka and I'm smoking on Duck and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So it gets to the point where it's like, what do you expect these people to do? So with that being said, Lil Durk's brother ended up getting shot and killed in front of a nightclub, all based off of, you know, mentioning dead ops names in his songs, which he reportedly said he's going to stop doing, and which he did, and which he kind of finessed it around. But at the same time, though, it's people are sensitive about people that have passed away at the end of the day. You know, there's, of course, speculation that he did bleep it out and he did edit it, but the damage is already done enough to where it was like that family felt like, you know what, just cut it if you have to. You're a good enough artist, just cut the fucking verse. So therefore, like, to circle back, I'm respecting King Von's uncle, Range Rover Hang, because at the end of the day, man, like, somebody needs to speak up, and I'm glad it's somebody that's actually involved in all the craziness. So, like you're about to say, Shine Hard.
Man, I know we're respecting the game, and this is supposed to be each individual take, but I do want to shed a little bit of clarity on that situation. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that is a part of Chicago culture. And since I've been following it 10 plus years now, that is nothing out of the norm, right? Name dropping, a dead opposition within a song. So to say that his brother was killed primarily predicated off of that would be kind of disingenuous, because truly, to be quite honest, we don't really know what exactly it stemmed from, right? Because a lot of people don't know, right? So Lil Durk did a now dead rapper at the time, FBG Duck, was kind of the prime opposition rapper for the other side, so to speak. People who aren't 64, 300, 600, or from Lamron or normal. If you know, you know. I won't get into the aesthetics of that. But so basically, this this has been transpiring, right? So to kind of hit it off one thing that, he died because he named, no, because if you know and follow FBG Duck before he died, he made it his literal business to diss multiple dead people in multiple hit songs of his, in some of his, greatest songs, right? And I'm talking about, when I say multiple people get pissed off at Lil Durk for name dropping a person in a song. This dude has name dropped quite literally 20 plus people in multiple songs.
Are you talking about his brother?
I'm talking about
FGB.
I'm talking about FBG Duck, right? So one could argue that, man, I don't give, like, you know what I mean? From the other side, like, I don't give a fuck if they feel some kind of way about it. Again, not admonishing or, taking away anything from that. But, some could very much so argue, man, your son quite literally got paid off of dissing our dead cousins, brothers, friends, and fallen loved ones. So just because you and your feelings about it, nigga, we ain't gonna stop. This shit gonna keep going. Like, because sad to say, Durk's older brother dying this past weekend, though sad, you both know that this isn't the end of it, right? Like,
and that's the thing.
I hate to say that, though, right?
Thing.
But I don't know, right? Because it's like, when you lose somebody close to you, I don't know who's to say that, all right, well, my get back is gotten, I'm good now, so I ain't, we through, bro. We ain't got to go back and forth, because that other side who just took the loss is always going to feel as though something is missing. So to put a ribbon on it, man, all I'm saying is, I don't want to tell them to take it on the chin, so I'm not going to say that, but fair game is fair game, because both sides have done their fair share of dissing. So, hey, man, it's just a sad reality.
I'm not saying he was necessarily saying like that's what happened. He was just more like, hey, this got to stop, which is just like, at any point, just like Took with Tukey did with the Crips and Bloods. Like, hey, y'all, I need to sit down somewhere and fucking talk. You know, it didn't solve every little last, you know, beef, of course, but it at the end of the day, they're looking forward of like, how the hell we gonna move forward if we can't stop something? Like piece by piece by piece. And things like, just like you said, that drill situation they got going on in Chicago is getting out of control. It's been strongly Chirac for 10 plus years. Like it's ridiculous. So it's a literal war zone in the south side of Chicago. So at the end of the day, if you know it's this bad and everybody knows it, including the people involved, they don't want to live in that shit fucking forever, whether they like it or not. Like at the end of the day, you're gonna want some kind of progress to happen. And at the end of the day, that's why I was giving him to respect the game, because he knows at some point, dog, he gotta start some fucking where with somebody at some point.
And with that, I'm gonna pick my respect the game. I know he ain't lob it up to me, but I want to respect Dirk's father, actually, right? So if you don't know, FBG Duck's mother is actually very close. Well, I won't say very, but has a relationship to where she actually knows Dirk's father, right? And she actually texted him, you know, the day after the shooting occurred, and, you know, sent her condolences and told her, you know, that she was praying for him, because no parent should have to deal with that, you know, burying their, you know, their kids. And I do want to say that Dirk's father, also Big Dirk, who he's actually known as, right? So big street lord, right? Made millions of dollars on the street. I believe he just got released from prison a couple years ago, or he's on the verge of being released. I'm not too sure what that the new law that was passed when Obama was in office, where they was kind of releasing a lot of felons, you know, due to a number of different circumstances. But he basically foretells, and it's on Instagram, I believe, that, you know, how the war actually started, right? So it actually was a lot of you know, politics involved with it that had nothing to do with, you know, any renegade sides. And so this thing has been going on actually longer than 10 plus years. It's just that now we live in a world where social media and the killing can be highlighted now, and there are cameras and eyes everywhere. It's now being brought to the forefront. But definitely want to respect the game and kind of give that admonishment and acknowledgement to Dirk's father, who you know, was kind of trying to just spread some depth and breadth about the situation again. I don't think he was praising it more so, but just trying to give people knowledge in the longevity of how long this rivalry between the BD and GD within Chicago and the different renegade blocks that beef with each other for various reasons, how that kind of came about and how that atmosphere kind of started brewing. He briefly spoke on it, but he was very concise. So I'm going to give him the respect the game for just shedding light and knowledge, because, hey, man, in the Bible, it says, without a lack of knowledge, my people perish, man. I'm paraphrasing, but, you know, it also says, you know, above all things, get an understanding. You got to understand what you're dealing with.
Outside of I guess what many would like to be a universal code and law is that, hey, no sticking up or killing, you know, civilians, children, and women. Do y'all think that, like, outside of that, do y'all think there are any rules to the streets?
Rule number one in the streets: there are no rules. This
Thank
shit
you,
lawless.
Isaac.
It's shit lawless, bro. Like,
the reason I say that is because, like, obviously, you know, when XYZ going on, whatever gang, this, or this person is like, I've come to a strong belief and understanding, you know, like, outside of that universal law of, you know, innocent bystanders or victims or people who are not in that life. Like, outside of that, I'd be like, niggas get, that nigga snitching, or he did this, or woo. I'm like, bro, like, I probably live on the sidewalk. I don't live in the streets, never have. Been around people who have and watched it from the sidewalk proudly. And it's just like, the more I watch it, I'm like, y'all niggas that's in this, like, y'all don't see that, like, there's no rules to it. Like, the rule is there are no, like, this is hardcore handicap. But I don't, I was just more curious. I mean, but yeah, you're right, Isaac. I was just curious if anybody else thought or felt that way too.
I mean, now, do people hold certain principles higher than others on a street stance? Of course, right? Just like you kind of alluded to the no snitching ordeal, but man, ain't no nigga out here finna be what's folks' name who actually got accredited for actually never snitching. Rick Ross and Lil Wayne got a song. John Gotti.
Yeah, yes.
Was one of the biggest crime lords ever in the history of the world. Never snitched on nobody. Went down, took his ass whooping. You know what I mean? Even Frankie Lyman. Even Frankie Lyman snitched. You know what I mean? And he got a whole fucking movie about him. Denzel played him flawlessly. I give him his credit, but he snitched in the end. And people will phrase it as, "Well, he snitched on the police." You still knew the cop was dirty, and he was in the streets as well. Because that's a part of the streets people don't tell you about as well. The other side, right? The actual law. So a lot of law enforcement that's not playing by the rules, right? That play both sides of the fence for personal gain. So, man, when I say the game is filthy, man, and people really sometimes don't know how deep that rabbit hole goes, and it's fucked up out here. Just when you think it done just slowed up a little bit, and it's forever fucked up out there, man.
And even Izzo, and like I agree with you. Like, yes, there are certain people who like they accept what they put themselves in. They have a high moral character and like principles about themselves. But like even within that, what I hate,
99% of people don't.
90 and that the fact Frankie Lyman said that. even within that, Isaac, what I hate is that like you can be stand up as you want to be. There are no rules, so all it takes is just one who don't have the same principles and carry himself the same way as you to like clip whoever is a stand-up guy.
Oh yeah, loose lips sink ships. It only take one bird to start singing to get every bird locked down, and metaphorically speaking. So this shit ain't.
That's why niggas.
This shit ain't what they say on that. We used to listen to the mixtapes back in the Gap. Trapaholics mixtapes. Not for the weak-hearted, man. This shit is kill or be killed, man.
Hey, so real quick, I'm asking to be educated because I know Sedacious texted. So like, was that his government, or like did they change his name in the movie, or is that the name he used in the movies, like Frank Lucas and Frankie Lyman?
Isaac just got his wires crossed.
I'm not really sure.
Isaac just got his wires miscrossed at that point. He just had a brain fart.
Two different people. Am I thinking about Frank Lucas? I'm thinking about Frank.
Yeah, you're thinking about Frank Lucas. You did Frank Lyman. You said Frankie Lyman.
Frank Lyman.
So you say Frankie Lyman. I did say.
And so you said Denzel played him. I was like, could have sworn
they didn't call him Frank Lucas, Frankie Lyman. Or is that a whole other person?
No, Frankie Lyman is Lorenz Tate. That nigga is Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
Yeah.
Frankie.
Frankie. I was like, Frankie Lyman sounds.
I was like, you know what I was thinking about? You know what I was thinking about? Herb had dropped a song, right, called Frankie Lyman. Something in the whip. I think I'm Frankie Lyman. Yeah. And it came out like 6-7 years ago. But yeah, man, players fucked up.
Players fucked up.
And Frankie Lyman snitched.
Why do what? Oh man.
Imagine 6ix9ine and everybody been snitching since been snitching.
Yeah, man. Speaking of that, he gets no play on this podcast.
No, he don't.
We not even entertaining him. Nah. But he just makes some real disrespectful comments, just real police ass shit, just basically, making a slew of Insta stories, just saying, your brother just got shot in the head. Go slide. And all I saw and read from those posts was, I'm the police. I'm ordering you to go kill him right now so they can rein you in for murder 1 and charge you to the fullest extent of the law. So anyway,
no.
But
the thing is, he wants somebody to be in the same exact position as he was. And
he wants somebody else to follow the whole thing too. But that ain't happening, man. So
exactly, that's the whole point.
He got a concert out here in Houston, man, and he got a concert out here in Houston that's coming up pretty quickly. I don't know if it's this weekend or the next, but Man, mob ties, if y'all are watching, if y'all are listening, man, Jay Prince, man. I know y'all can't even mess with him because he is truly the police now, but man, if y'all can get a handle on that, brother, and whatever you want to take by getting a handle on that, or however you want to perceive that, I'm not ensuing that bodily harm be done to him. All I'm saying is this is our city. And as you know, Jay Prince speaks so eloquently. Let's take pride in that city and be stand-up gentlemen when, you know, we have guests visiting. Let's show the guests who deserve proper welcomings.
Yeah, we
let's
just know
show
Rap a
them.
Lot ain't never called the police. I ain't never seen Rap a Lot call the police. So.
Oh no. I'm not implying they call the police at all.
No, they don't call the police.
But again, this is a family-oriented podcast, and I'm also not implying that, you know, bodily harm get done. All I'm saying is, you know, handle that business, whatever business needs to be handled in whatever facet it needs to be handled in. Take us away again.
On a Rap a Lot boot tape, on a Rap a Lot tape, it used to say, if you bootleg this, police will not be called. This matter will be handled in turn.
And if that ain't clear cut as day, I don't know what is. So bootleg they shit at your own risk, brother.
Scary shit. Yeah.
That's some scary shit.
One of
Imagine listening to that shit after you didn't go to bootleg.
Like, God damn it, LimeWire.
I ain't gonna lie, everybody was booming off line.
Get me coming up.
They gonna have to take the L on that one, man. Shit.
Yeah,
everybody named mama got to live on LimeWire.
Yeah,
shout
man.
out Frostbite too.
Somebody, I love them, man. I respect them. I think it's not talked about enough because it's not always put under a microscope. But his discipline to be who he is and where he is, and I'm talking about Floyd Money Mayweather. Whether you love him or hate him, doesn't matter. You have to respect him as a businessman and what he's been able to do in his entire career and what he's been doing post-retirement. He just had a fight with Logan Paul over this past weekend. It was an exhibition match. It was only a referee, 8 rounds, no judges. So it was just, you know, it is what it is, you know, type of fight. And like Floyd said, he made $30 million off his trunks alone before actually even getting in the ring to fight Logan Paul. I'm eventually in the future, you know, I'm gonna do a story, do a documentary, and a sit down with Floyd, just about the discipline that he's had to, you know, embrace throughout his life to get to where he has been. But
we actually gonna have him on the podcast. Y'all just wait.
That's true as well. But yeah, man. Whether you love him or you hate him, you gotta respect him. And respect is kind of one of those things when they say, like, you know, facts over feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of how you feel about him, like the type of work he's put in, like, garners respect. And so that's all I'll say about that. If y'all want to add, we can.
The man made $30 million for even hopped in. As he kindly put it, I'm the best at legally robbing these banks. And I'm paraphrasing, but I mean, the crowd even had to laugh at it. The reporters in the room had to laugh because, well, shit, it's true. The man quite literally made off the Pacquiao fight. He made enough that most rappers would call generational wealth, right? And some of your favorite rappers today aren't even, their net worth isn't even the amount or half of the amount of the dollar amount that he got within liquid cash, right? So the man got $100 million check. He said he didn't even cash it, right? So, and I'm pretty sure checks that big, I'm pretty sure they don't fucking expire. And after 6 months, it's still valid, right? So the fact that the man had a $100 million check written out to him. Again, liquid cash. Most rappers aren't even worth that within their all-around net worth. Man, he's winning the game of life, one can say.
The $100 million that he made just off the Logan Paul fight was reportedly more than Michael Jordan's on-court salary throughout his entire career. So I think that was around 90 million Jordan made on the court. Obviously, we're not talking about his endorsements and all that, but just on the court salary, 90 million throughout his entire career. And you have somebody like Floyd Mayweather who made 100 million in one fight. Gotta respect him.
Nah, facts.
Man, I mean, I'll give a shout out to Shine Hard on this one. He's a fucking computer, okay? Not only with money, but at the actual sport that he actually does, man. When think about him as he in every aspect, whether it be the shit talking, whether it be the actual fighting, whether it be just whatever it may be at hand. I think he even has side bets on half of his fights. I'm really convinced he has side bets on most of his fights where he's like, I'm gonna go all the way through, and I may win this round, I'm gonna win that round. I think he's that technical. Because at the end of the day, I watched that fight and I have to give credit to the Paul brother, because at the end of the day, that's a professional, been doing this for 15 plus years, champion, undefeated. He's supposed to technically make your life a living hell. But at the end of the day, Paul
at the age of 45 plus, that's tough to ask of Floyd. Because even the best boxer, you wouldn't ask Michael Jordan at his old age now to come out and hold a Kevin Durant or a LeBron James, right? So I believe you do have to put the age in context, which is why it's still such a great feat in my opinion as well. So
I mean, the boxing is not just picking up some gloves and fighting. It's mental. It's
science,
and that's the thing about him that makes him so incredible, because he's not beating you with his fists. He's beating you with his mind. Whether it's talking shit or whether it's the way he fights you and where he picks his point. Exactly. So it's like, it's one of these where it's like, he's going to do it. He's going to win exactly the way he wants to win. And there's nothing you can do about it. He's done it and this shows like, it don't matter what weight class, you can be a fucking giant. I'm still going to be able to whoop your ass. You're still going to have under 20% in punches landed, which is utterly ridiculous.
I'm gonna hit you, and you're probably never gonna hit me. That's the persona of Pretty Boy Floyd. I don't get touched. You know what I'm saying? Like, and exactly. He changed his name to Money Made because he wanted to make more money, and you got to speak it into existence. He said that within the press conference. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but he said that I was Pretty Boy Floyd, but then as soon as I changed my name to Money Made, I started. And it's true, right?
He's like Pretty Boy wasn't getting him paid like he felt he deserved, as he said.
Money made.
He was respected as a boxer with Pretty Boy. He was respected as a businessman with Money Made.
Right. And also too, right? Also too, like when you're just talking about the naysayers, which I know Floyd don't care about and I don't, and all this tarnished his career. Like I was so disappointed in how he handled Logan Paul. Floyd Mayweather is almost like LeBron James in the sense that, like, when you hear critics talk about LeBron James, you will swear LeBron James has never won a championship. They always try to erase what LeBron has done in the past and always make it seem like every finals or playoffs he comes into is like legacy defining. They do that with Floyd. And the thing about Floyd, and the reason you'll catch some of them trying to bait him to come out of retirement, is because they're holding on for as much desperation as they can to see just one person give him a draw or a loss. And so that's why you see them still trying to prime, why don't he come out of retirement? Let's see, But again, Floyd is smart. He's done. You know what I'm saying? He's going to keep collecting checks, keep pissing y'all off. And even when you mad, you're still going to tune into that box office to a credit to that already $100 million plus check.
Bro, to piggyback off what you said, bro, they want their 40-plus-year-old nigga to come out of retirement to get beat by a young ass, spry ass, fresh off
spring chicken.
He didn't even beat him, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I seen Floyd one of them rounds really drop him with the right hook. and bro body went limp. I don't give a damn what Logan Paul said. And you can actually see per video him kind of like, it wasn't no clinch position. I'm using my guy
like if
right
Floyd,
here. He was literally leaned up.
If Floyd
like
wanted to push him off him, he would have dropped to the mat.
He would have been dead weight hitting the floor. He would have been dead weight hitting the floor.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
No,
but Floyd probably hit his
like,
come on, nigga, we got
Isaac,
fight,
exactly.
Money.
Hey, bro, I got some money, some other money on the line. I need you to last these last
your
couple
ass
rounds.
stay
Get
up,
your
bro,
ass
so
up.
throw some more of that wild shit. And I'ma just weed it. I'm gonna make it look good.
Hey, look,
You got this. We almost there.
Right. Hey,
We almost there, nigga. You almost paid.
Hey, this shit quickly turned to the WWE. Come on, nigga, not right now. Come on.
Right.
Exactly. Come on, man. People in the
Yeah, man. Nah, salute to Floyd, Logan Paul. I'm not mad at you either, my brother. Get your 10 million. These other like professional boxers, they barely getting 2 and 3 million and they fighting professionally. So I ain't mad at you, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But getting over into, we got to get into these NBA playoffs. Motherfucking the goddamn NBA playoffs. So first we're gonna start this off. I was emphatically on record. Dame time, his time, they time. It can be your mama time. Portland was gonna pull out the series. I was absolutely positively wrong about that. I criticized Darnell for his belief in the consistency of Denver as a team outside of Jokic coming together. He criticized me for, not necessarily the greatness of Dame, but the people around Dame, the other guys, as we were debating. Darnell picked Denver to win in 6. They absolutely did that. I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. I don't hide or shy away from that in no way, shape, or form. I was wrong.
Someone else who's not on this podcast today, but we'll leave him be. Safe travels.
Yeah, safe travels to Coach Johnson. Safe travels to Coach Johnson. Yeah, we're not at full strength. I know y'all wondering where he at, but he's traveling. He's traveling this week with his family. So yeah, man. I was wrong about that. It definitely taught me just a little bit more about like how the game is transitioning. Just in terms of just like, yeah, you may need 2 superstars to win a championship. And if you don't have that, like you're gonna really need like me and Darnell was talking over the phone, and like there's value in having role guys that are dedicated and strongly believe in their role and nothing else. I'm not trying to do extra stuff or trying to do this, or sometimes they feeling it or sometimes they not. And I think and I also said last episode too, I let it be known. I was like, hey, Darnell, I know why you're saying Denver are the better team, and I've been watching them, and I agree with you. They are the better team than the Portland Trail Blazers, but heroism, Dame is my guy, my favorite player in the league right now. I'm going to ride that horse out till it die, and it died, and so did I. But Darnell, my brother, I sing your praises. You were on the money about the Denver Nuggets beating the Portland Trail Blazers. In 6, they did that. The floor is yours, my brother.
I'm not gonna take too much time, to be honest with you. Just point out a couple things that was major in that win. Like I said, the next best player on that team isn't reliable. Never will be reliable. I feel needs to be in a 3rd or 4th reliable position. He does not need to be the 2nd position like they keep trying to force him at.
Who are you talking about?
I do feel like
CJ
I
McCollum?
am definitely talking about Mr.
I just
CJ
want the
McCollum.
people to know.
Exactly. I mean, yes, I hate to mention it, but it goes without mentioning. But yeah, CJ McCollum for sure. I feel like that team, other than CJ McCollum, who was a critical point, is good. And I was saying earlier that, you know what, if CJ McCollum wasn't such a virus and they had someone that was a little bit more consistent, they could have pulled it off because they know they can rely on CT. Huh?
I think it's long overdue.
Say, what's up with the CJ McCollum?
Exactly. This is long overdue. He'll give you 1 or 2 games in the postseason when you need it by the grace of God. It's not even because it's a game. It's because like God said, you know what, McCullough, this is your time to shine. Do your thing. That's about it. Other than that, it's
we going by that.
They got eliminated 4 times since
God
that
is giving them that opportunity. If we going by that theory.
I mean, but that's how it feels. That's how it feels like when he does show up. It's like, oh, I'll finally let you get something. It's like, it's like it shouldn't be that way if you're the number 2. 3 and 4, you get away with that. Number 2, you need to show up just as much as number 1.
Hey, bro,
you need to be just as reliable.
When they got beat by LeBron. When they got beat by LeBron last year, I'm like, where was CJ McCollum at? Like, and it's almost like Dame's greatness just like shadowed this nigga. Like nobody ever asked what the fuck about CJ McCollum because Dame's stats was just fucking crazy. It's like we can't believe you're eliminated again. It's like, well, no, we ask why?
But you know what I think it is? I think we fall victim to the greatness of the Warriors, and I'll tie it in real quick. Clay is probably one of the best off-ball scorers that the game has ever seen, right? So he doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective and to score efficiently at a high rate. The man quite literally dropped, I think, 60 in, I believe, 8 dribbles.
11.
11, pretty fucking ridiculous.
33 points in a quarter.
Exactly, right? So I think when we try to compare shooting backcourts, which McCollum and Lillard are a great shooting backcourt, one can't deny that, but
I can.
In regards to their greatness, right, kind of back to the Clay and Steph model, I believe what kind of drives that engine as opposed to, and I'm talking about success, right, and the reason why the Blazers haven't had success. Well, one, the system of Terry Styles, doesn't make great adjustments, notoriously. So their coaches failing them in regards to the system being implemented. And then they just don't have the horses, right? So at that 2-guard position, what makes Clay so special is the fact that he can go and defend your best player, and then the fact that he's the second best shooter that God ever created, not named Stephen Wardell Curry, right? Or Wardell Stephen Curry, rather, excuse me. So, and just a little bit of knowledge for the fans, that's Stephen Curry's real name. First name Wardell, middle name is actually Stephen. Fun fact for the kids out there tonight. But yeah, man, so CJ McCollum isn't a defensive stopper by any means. One would almost deem him a liability on defense, right? Though he can score and put it up with the best of them, isn't consistent within that role itself. And then he's not really giving you much on the defensive end to kind of combat that player or that, player on the opposing team, their offensive stretch that they could potentially go on. So, it's just a lot of things that were wrong with the Blazers, coaching being one of them, and then just overall the way the team was built. I
just don't know. Man. I'm sorry. I disagree. If they had a better shooting guard or better secondary, I feel like Carmelo could have flourished a little bit better. I feel like Carmelo could have flourished a little bit better. The center shouldn't have to feel like he needs to be in Jokic mode, and the team would have been a little bit better. That's just where I feel about it. I even say if they had a better shooting guard, someone more reliable,
Nurkic has been a Nurkic has been a shell of his former self ever since he's. You said what?
No, I was saying he was breaking up there.
Nurkic has been a shell of his former self ever since the injury, right? So, and all the players that you just named, Darnell, they don't play defense. Carmelo Anthony, 17th season, never has really played defense. Not saying he doesn't have the capacity to, but he's not an elite defender.
I'm gonna
that goes on the GM for team building.
I'm going to stand on this. People can crucify me if they want to, but you just talk about like not making in-game adjustments. There were a handful of possessions out there where like Jokic was getting whatever he wanted to against Cantor and Nurkic. But when second chance opportunity and Melo just happened to be in the vicinity and had the D up on Jokic had to earn them buckets, and I'm not sure he had a high percentage against maybe the 5 or 7 times Melo guarded him. People may say, why would you want to put Melo in that predicament? But I'm like, it's not working with Nurkic. It's not working with Cantor. You was even trying to put Covington on him. What's going on?
Covington is a better defender than Carmelo Anthony ever has been.
Okay,
that's a good individual defender.
A good individual defender, and he's a wing player. Nurkic is putting him on his hip and bagging him down and turning over him.
Carmelo Anthony is a wing player in the early part of his career. The only reason he transitioned to the stretch four position is due to his lack of athleticism at his old age.
Right. And so Nurkic athleticism ain't that crazy to where Melo can't stay in front of him. And if you try to say, all right, I mean, did I say Nurkic? I mean Jokic. Jokic ain't that crazy athletic to where Melo can't stay in front of him. If Melo can go out there and stay in front of him long enough at the three, behind the three, and if you want to say Jokic getting a post, like he was trying to put Melo in the post, and Melo wasn't folding like Cancer and like Nurkic, and how he just turned around hooked over Covington all day long.
He's doing the same thing over Carmelo too, though, bro. I just
feel
their defensive levels don't. That's just my opinion.
That's fine.
I'm calling a spade a spade.
Yeah, I disagree. That's fine. Overall, as a team, yes, they don't play great defense.
Overall, like I said, I think it's the coaching and also just the fact that McCullough. Everybody else, I had nobody against. I'm sorry. I hate to pick him out.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Nikola. I'm gonna give a shout out to Nikola Jokic today.
Please
the man just won MVP. I'm gonna put some respect on his name, and I'm gonna respect the game. And I'm gonna say this, man. That's a fucking MVP out there, man. You're not gonna tell me that he's not gonna get whatever he want on Carmelo Anthony. I'm sorry. That elite skill set that Jokic possesses at this age, Carmelo Anthony cannot stop him, man. That's just a bare bone fact. Like
he's not saying stop him. He's saying the best adjustment.
That's what Terry Styles was kind of looking for. He literally went down the roster.
I think he messed up with looking over Carmelo down the roster. Yes, Nikola Jokic is obviously an MVP, not taking anything away from that. Led his team points, assists, rebounds,
we're talking
and
about
field
Carmelo
goals.
Anthony as a defensive stopper on the MVP of our league. I believe.
And I am not telling you, Carmelo Anthony was going to lock him down. I am telling you he was a better try than Nurkic, Cancer, and Covington. That's all I'm telling you. That's all I'm telling you.
He could have tried. He could have tried.
He could have tried. All I'm saying is that could have been an adjustment to try to exploit. He did not try.
A nigga who has never been known for playing defense, I am not going to put him on the potential MVP, and now we see MVP of our league. So I just think that
we can argue eyeball for eyeball. I feel
they were screwed anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah, they were screwed anyway. Cancer. I mean, well, not Cancer. Jokic. First MVP who was drafted in the second round was the 31st overall pick. First center to win the award since Shaq back in 2000. First Nugget, which is also telling, right? Talk about how great Carmelo Anthony is and him being a Hall of Famer. Nurkic is the first, not Nurkic, Jokic is the first Denver Nugget in franchise history to win the MVP. And he's the first MVP. Yeah. All
right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna say,
hey, y'all keep on the conversation. I gotta take this call.
I put an asterisk on. I'll put an asterisk on that shit though.
Also footnote, Jokic is the first MVP since Kobe Bryant to play all the games in the regular season.
I do put an asterisk next to the Nuggets one because you have LeBron James who won a few MVPs, and it's not fair to Carmelo to say that he didn't win. Like, I just feel it's not fair. I'm sorry. There's no other LeBron James in his prime.
Honestly,
come on.
LeBron got robbed a couple years of MVP, if I'm being honest, and I'm not even a LeBron fan. I definitely believe the MVPs that Shaq always talks about on TNT that he says he was robbed of, those years Steve Nash went back-to-back, those years that Phoenix Suns team was winning 55-plus games every year, right? I believe that first year Steve Nash won it, it was well-deserved, right?
He deserved
that
Tony's
system.
Right?
He put up hella numbers. Sure. He was great. But then that second year, I think Kobe got robbed. I don't know what the hell Shaq talking about with all that other shit, but no. That second year, Steve Nash won MVP. Man, Kobe Bean Bryant got robbed. It was highway robbery. I couldn't even believe it when they announced it. I was dumbfounded.
When the 81
Don't even get me started on the two MVPs they done robbed from James. Jesus,
But I'm saying like it's what, and also Kobe too. Yeah, like you gotta give an answer to Carmelo. It's like damn, it's hard to say that he was the first. I mean, who's competing in their prime right now against? I don't know, bro. It's I feel like
I love Melo, bro, but MVP, that's tough. I don't know what year you're alluding to, brother, but I just don't.
Like, damn, man, you put in so much work, so many years.
Yeah, so
and that's fine, man. He's a great all time.
I know.
Hall of Famer.
It's another part of his list of unaccomplishments that he has to deal with, that he has to live with. It's kind of fucked up. The fact that you're not a champion, the fact that you have not been MVP for your team for the first time in God knows how long. It's hard to, it's like I sympathize with him on that, bro. I'm like, damn, dog, like
I don't think Carmelo Anthony has even heard about his lack of MVP. Go ahead, Stasis.
He ain't work hard enough, bro. It's okay.
I think Melo would be the first person to tell you that.
Like, he wasn't put in the same. He wasn't put in a good enough position. Jeez, I mean, some would argue him and AI should have got.
But you're talking about against LeBron James and Kobe being Bryant.
Yeah, he did take that Denver Nuggets team to the conference finals, the Western Conference Finals that year. I do want to alert that they did lose.
It's hard to say and accept, like, damn, Melo. It's like it's one of the things your accomplishment you can't say that you did. You have everything that doesn't matter at an accomplishment. Not saying that it doesn't, but it's not the top talked about accomplishments, and it sucks. Other than scoring, that's it. Other than scoring, that's the biggest accomplishment as far as like all-star, first team. It's like, yeah, but come on, bro. It's like it's come on. Like, you know, it's some top tier ones that you just keep the goats in. He's kind of stuck in that Charles Barkley era still with that being in there. It keeps him in that Charles Barkley category, and it sucks. Nobody wanted to be in the category with Charles Barkley. Nobody does.
Well, Charles Barkley has
a great athlete with no serious accomplishments to really, really, truly show for it. No team oriented.
I won't disrespect Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is a multi-time All-Star and an MVP of this league. Though he does not have a championship, he is very decorated. He's an Olympian athlete as well, just like Carmelo. One could argue that he's maybe had a more accolade-studded career than Melo, but in regards to individual accolades, I think Melo, I want to say Melo has a scoring title, if not maybe a multiple or maybe a couple. He's made, 10 plus All-Star appearances. Again, he's an Olympian, national college champion. So when you make the Naismith Hall of Fame, they do encompass all of your basketball life, not just the NBA portion of it. So whether you played, if you won some EuroLeague championships, or if you won, again, on the Olympic stage, or if you won NBA championship, they're going to account for all of that, even your collegiate stuff, right? People still get
when you're growing
acknowledged up, say again.
When you're growing up, though, you don't say, "Man, I'm gonna be the scoring champion." No, you say, "I'm gonna be MVP, bro. I'm gonna be the Finals MVP. I'm gonna get a
Carmelo Anthony did not keep his body in shape.
That's what I'm saying.
Top take for him to be deemed MVP, especially all them years where LeBron James was going smooth the fuck off. He did not deserve it over LeBron James. Not one of those years. It's just tough, man. He was in an era where it was a lot of great players.
It's not fair.
What's the,
I feel bad for this man.
What was the debate? I'm sorry.
The fact that
it kind of got
has the title of being the first MVP from the Nuggets, basically, and another accolade that Carmelo does not have under his belt, or just basically gets not even robbed because he deserves it, but just it's not him.
I mean, yeah, I think maybe you could try to, I don't know, y'all just talk. I think maybe if you want to try to argue him getting an MVP or having an MVP season is maybe when he got the Nuggets to the Western Conference Finals, but I think that year Kobe won it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying it's not fair that he had to play in their generation. Like them two didn't exist.
Hey man, life ain't fair.
I
think Carmelo not having the MVP is just a testament to how great of players we've had in the NBA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also talking about the playoffs, I want to give now. it's only 2-0. We're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks and we're talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Sean Hart Izzo, I know game one you had Bucks +7. Y'all all individually sing like the praises and the how great of a basketball team y'all believe the Bucks are gonna be. I don't feel like y'all outright said, yo, the Bucks are gonna beat the Brooklyn Nets, but y'all
Never
were
said that, but I did
right.
have them winning game one, but I was dreadfully wrong, woefully wrong.
And but I feel like the sentiment last week that was at bare minimum, I feel like the sentiment last week was from all three of y'all was that like y'all felt like it was at least going to be a very entertaining, nail-biting series, which isn't out of the question, but how do y'all feel now with what's transpired the past 2 games?
Man, that shit hell out of the question. James Harden ain't even playing. The main nigga Giannis was trying to talk down on years ago. If we all remember him not picking James Harden in the All-Star game and choosing Kemba Walker over James Harden, let that marinate and sizzle in his spirit, which is complete disrespect, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many others. And then he went on to say in that same monologue, right, that I want somebody who's going to pass the ball, ignorantly saying that when after James Harden literally just coming off leading the league in assists a couple times. With, again, just a very ignorant and just dumb statement by the 2-time MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, which, by the way, you guys' previous MVP and Defensive Player of the Year getting his fucking goose cooked, getting his shit literally demolished on live TV by Kevin Durant. I wish I knew that man's middle name. I'd have called it because he really sunning niggas out there. But man, it's just it was. I turned that shit off. It wasn't even a game really. Midway through the second quarter, that shit was over completely. One could argue at the top of the second quarter that shit was over because they were up 20.
Google.
That's when I stopped watching.
Sean Hart is Google is giving me Kevin Wayne Durant.
I like that for some reason, man.
Hey, Google is giving me Kevin Wayne Durant. So hope Google isn't wrong. So
I like it.
So Dacius, I would like to know your take because you said I know you specifically said this series was going 7. It's not far-fetched. That could possibly happen. Who knows? But what are your takes from this series so far?
They're finna go to Milwaukee.
I got $100. Don't go 7.
Yeah, they finna go to Milwaukee and beat these boys' ass for real. Like for real. It doesn't like Milwaukee don't look like they finna go home and all they need is home court. Now they look like they need a fucking miracle. No, it's not happening.
They need some milk.
Darnell. And Darnell, I think some of Darnell's critique or disdain towards the Brooklyn Nets, I know you was talking about chemistry, but I think some of it was also rooted in the fact that you're still a little like, emotionally scarred with the Rockets and Harden leaving the Rockets to go join the Brooklyn Nets. With that, what has been your take from this series thus far?
I've seen a lot of different things. I've seen chemistry that I didn't expect. And also I've seen the fact of a lot of players that were very smart with their talents. Blake Griffin being the number one person, he has showed a person I haven't seen in probably 3 or 4 years, especially with game 1. Game 2 was not as explosive, but it was definitely enough to obviously propel the win, for them to flourish in their win. I felt like he kind of did something that a lot of players are doing nowadays for the longevity of their career and success, and just in case they want to have more accomplishments. I felt like he coasted, even though he was injured throughout some portions of last year. He coasted this year and coasted when he can to preserve his talents for a better situation. He got the Pistons to the playoffs the year before last, and he felt like they wasn't doing anything to help him when the following year came. And he felt like, you know what, I'm just going to do just enough to not sink. I'm going to keep my profit value at a steady pace. You know what? When I find the right place to be at, my talents will come back to life. And my opinion, it did. To sidebar just a little bit, and I'm going to drift right back. I feel like that's what LeBron's doing. I feel like LeBron could have easily won that Sun series if he pulled his whole entire talents together. But I feel like he wants to reserve his body. He wants to reserve his energy for 3 more seasons, 4 more seasons. You're thinking, oh man, it's just one season. You'd be surprised how much pain, sweat, and tears go into one season, no matter who you are. Jordan could have
71
had
days before you have to start that hoe.
Exactly. Jordan could have had more finals appearances and probably 2 more title wins if he wouldn't have overexerted himself. Or if he had a little bit more help to where he didn't overexert himself as much. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows it was always Jordan. So therefore, to circle all the way back, I get back to Blake Griffin. Like, he reserved his energy being with Detroit. Because in Detroit, he was doing good, but just not enough to just, like I said, put himself in injury prone again. He said, you know what? I put myself in injury prone. Y'all not even helping me. They got rid of Christian Wood. You know what? Screw y'all. I'm going to go to this team and I'm going to show up when they need me to. And I'm going to show y'all that I'm still getting better. I've developed the 3. I got post up. I can be a very valuable role player when given the time and opportunity. So, and I feel like that was LaMarcus Aldridge's idea before his sudden injury happened. He was reserving his talents, doing just enough to get by. And I feel like, honestly, he may have done the exact same thing. And yeah, we may be looking at a real monster, scary monster.
All right, so
both of them on there.
This is how I feel about the Bucks, and this is how I've always felt about the Bucks. I would like for y'all to challenge or expound if y'all agree or disagree. This is how I feel about the Bucks. I feel like the Bucks are a good team, but because they watch mediocre teams and they find a way to win games here and there against other good teams, people lose sight of that and they deem them a great team. And then when they are in situations where they have to really be a great team, or they go up against another great team and they disappoint everybody because they're not playing or clicking like they were in the regular season, it shows them to really just be a mediocre, good team. That is what I think we've been seeing with the Milwaukee Bucks for the past couple years. And I think how there are always those certain superstar players that they seem like, oh man, they killed it in the regular season, but then they fall by the wayside first round or whatever the case may be in the playoffs. And it's like, man, what's going on with this player? Then we start to kind of just we start to lead them along. Like, man, they always dropping an egg, as Isaac would say, getting a goose cooked in the playoffs. I feel like that's been the story, the narrative all this time with the Milwaukee Bucks. And every time it happens, people are shocked, and that irritates the hell out of me. Like y'all was already like we was going with the series last week. Like, I ain't really like I feel like I was the odd man out personally, and thinking that like the game wasn't gonna be as close as people thought. And I didn't really feel like debating it or whatever. But when the game was going on, I'm like, all right, like, I know I'm not crazy. Like, I ain't saying I know everything about basketball, but like, what do people be really believing about the Milwaukee Bucks? Like, their best player is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and like, Giannis can be stopped. Or you want to say stop is a harsh word. Giannis can be limited. If your best player can be limited,
can't shoot outside of 18 feet, man, you
like where are y'all expecting them to be or go? And so that's my thing on the Bucks.
I believe that point is valid, but I'll take it a step further. I think it has to do with everything in regards to who their head coach is. If we keep in mind, right, Mike Budenholzer has the reputation for bringing that Atlanta Hawks team that actually made it out of the first round, I believe, in the early 2010s. I believe it was 2010, 2011, maybe somewhere
Joe
around
Johnson.
Right. That Hawks team that quite literally overachieved. Within the playoffs, everybody knows the recipe you need for success. You need a dominant wing presence that can go get their shot at any given time that you need them to. And Giannis Antetokounmpo just does not have that ability yet. Outside of 18 feet, he is a big liability.
But Izzo, just real quick, bro. I'm sorry, forgive me. Just real quick. It's not just about Giannis' inability to score and be a dominant scorer. Like people be putting Middleton like on this high pedestal. Like, but yeah.
I was gonna get to that as well, right? So you make a great point with that, too. So Chris Middleton has actually had some bright spots in the playoffs. He hit a game tying or go ahead 3 to kind of push the series in the OT. Yeah, against the Celtics.
I think it was
about 4 years ago. It was definitely against the Celtics. I watched it live, but they just don't have the horses, right? So Brooklyn is a shining and glaring example of a team that has been constructed primarily for deep championship runs, right? You have 3 elite shot makers at in the backcourt and within the front court who can quite literally go get their shot any given time that you ask them to and go get you a very tough bucket, and they make it look very routine, which is extremely rare this day and age, which is why I want to go ahead and make the first prediction on this podcast and just go out on a limb and just say, man, I don't see nobody beating the Nets. I don't, because what they're showing me is as great a defense as you can play, and the Bucks, a lot of people deem to be a great defensive team, with Drew Holiday being a very elite individual guard defender, he can't do shit with Reed. And Giannis
he can't guard all 3.
Man, he can't guard one of them.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yesterday.
like the man
and James ain't even out
for
there.
A reason, and he's a Isaac, and that's where I was wrong. I thought it may have been a fight if Harden was out. I was wrong in that.
Exactly, because that's the most elite third option that I ever seen in basketball.
You know what I'm saying?
Harden is your third option.
And so it's like I don't want to like yes, defense is valuable, but like arguably one of the greatest commentating color analyst sayings is great offense beats great defense any day of the week.
Exactly.
And you got 3 guys who will arguably have it ain't even arguable, top 5, top 10 offenses in the league, great offenses in the league. Like, come on, bro. Like, let's just be real about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of that, Kevin Durant, 7 games. Dude is 50, 50, and 90. Averaging 32 points, 7 rebounds, 55% from the field, 50% from 3, 90% free throws, and 7 guys. Like, bro, like, what are we talking about here, bro?
Yeah, I just thought about something. So James is like, hey, yo, bro, can you believe this bitch ass nigga came to Houston and fucked my shit up, fam? Bro, you got room over there for me in Brooklyn? Oh, yeah, that nigga, he fucked my shit up. You talking about the same nigga fucked my shit up in OKC? When they shipped me, they shipped me out and left me. Yeah, no, yeah, come. I got this young bull, Kyrie. We finna tear some shit up.
MVPs still in their prime. Or Kevin Durant and James Harden still not in their prime, bro? Is Kyrie Irving still not in his prime, even though he can sometimes be injury prone, bro?
No, they all still in their prime.
They definitely still,
you know what I'm
at
saying?
Different spots in their prime, but nevertheless still in their prime.
Still in that pocket, and like it's just like it's frustrating to me, though. I'm like, bro, like what do y'all see in like the Bucks, bro? Like they beat throughout the regular season. They wash mediocre teams and they find a way to beat good teams. So people think that's a recipe, and they get disguised and thinking, well, that's a great team. But then when they in great situations, when they're in situations where they,
bro, they just a great regular season team.
They just a good team.
I just think they just a great regular season team, bro. But just as they constructed, they just not built to win in the playoffs because Giannis can't shoot, and that's what you're about to see within Philadelphia with Ben Simmons. When your second best player or when your first or second best player cannot shoot, and you need them to pull off series when shit gets tight, and you just the offensive plays ain't working, this ain't working. Hey, bro, we just need you to go out and be you.
I want to start.
You can't do that. You can't win. Shit.
Beautiful people. This is the Respect the Game podcast. We hope that whether you hate it or love the conversation made you respect the game. As always, we do not take you listening for granted. And obviously, there's more great conversation like this to come. And so yeah, man, we'll see you beautiful people next week, man. Thank y'all for listening. God bless.